Hi, I'm Helen.
Tunahan Tunaloğlu.
And today we're going to discuss our deliverable for you guys. We kind of came at this kind of like as an outside consulting group. The first step we did was do like a thorough research of the organization of Hope New Hampshire. We did that by reading any news articles online. We went through your website, through the Facebook posts. We went into the meeting minutes of the board or the school board. We went to those, listened to radio interviews, and really kind of got a grasp of what the organization is trying to do and what people were saying about the organization to kind of try to figure out how we can best assist you guys. We also did interviews of the board members. We interviewed 4 board members and attended a board member meeting to kind of meet you guys up close and kind of learn who you guys are, learn about your organization a little bit. And our kind of our goal was to, or our deliverable was initially to develop a strategic plan with kind of recommendations from our group, and we also wanted to provide an actionable deliverable that you guys could actually use. So it took us a little while to kind of come to a conclusion of what that would be, but we ended up with a binder here that we're going to present to you guys and kind of show how we can best use that. Let's see, so basically from our research, one complaint about the organization was that there was kind of nothing to prove your guys' effectiveness. A lot of it was anecdotal evidence and people want to know how could they measure your success. So we put together this binder to kind of, so we could show your guys' success, and Priya's going to talk a little bit more about that.
So as he mentioned, our group wanted to create a basic organizational system where Mark and the board or whoever is running Hope New Hampshire at the time can track measurables and actionable data in a unified and physical space, which is this binder. We're going to go over what the binder has inside of it, but basically there are a bunch of different sections that you can actually fill in to record the value-based data that Hope New Hampshire works on. And in the binder, Jordan introduced the strategic plan. So the strategic plan that we came up with is actually here. It includes the mission, the vision, the short-term and long-term goals, some obstacles and strengths, and he'll go over that in more detail. If you want to go back to the initial slide. Also, there's a sign-in sheet where you can actually record who attends each day. We'll talk about that as well. There are mentorship hours, including a weekly chart to log that information, program highlights, and achieved goals for the organization as a whole. An expense report is here. The list of relationships, internal and external contacts that Hope New Hampshire has, as well as a section for written testimonials.
Awesome. Yeah, so just to touch a little bit on the strategic plan. At the beginning, we wanted to kind of do this big 3-year plan and kind of break down where you wanted to go and where you wanted to be in 3 years. And we learned a lot about the organization, but especially, you guys are kind of in flux at the time that we were coming in. We thought, let's focus a little bit more on the actionable deliverable and a little less on trying to project out 3 years from now, because it's kind of hard with basically just where the organization is. And kind of from the start of the semester, it went from you guys were awarded $30,000 to then you weren't awarded $30,000 to then you were. And from there you were in the schools and then back kind of out of the schools and in an after school space. So there was a lot of flux. So instead of kind of focusing on that, we did a pretty basic strategic plan, kind of just writing down what we heard the board members say. And we also included kind of our recommendations from a outside consulting perspective of where we think you guys could make some small improvements or just bump up your guys' program a little bit.
So let's talk about sign-in sheets one more time. My friend Priya already mentioned about it. But the thing is, so the eldermen donate $30,000 for our project, right?
Yep.
But how are we gonna prove that these students are attending these classes? We all familiar this process from middle school or high school. So this is not something complicated. All students are going to print their name so that we can know, or you guys can track if they're attending the classes or not, if they're in the school or somewhere else. That's our aim to design these sign-in sheets.
Awesome.
Move forward.
Yeah, I mean, very basic.
It's basic, right?
Just to document the attendance. That's one of the measurables we were looking to document. I know Matt said he was documenting that, but we want to just make it look a little nicer. And that's one of the key deliverables, or the key measurables that the aldermen are probably looking at is how many students are attending the after-school program.
So for the weekly mentorship activity log, the purpose of this document was to document all of the mentorship hours that Matt does in a given week. So if you look at the sections that we have created in this template, there's a section for the date and the time, each day of the week, and a section to fill out the detailed for the mentorship activities. So what actually happened with a specific kid on that day. There's a section where he can just fill that out, talk about any details that he wants to, just to kind of keep it all in one consolidated space, and also talk about the total amount of hours that was spent on that day. This way he can include updates, track progress, and just basically summarize a description of the activity for that day. And at the end of the week, there's a section at the bottom to just look at how many hours that was spent on mentoring and just mentoring for that week.
Yeah, we thought that was another big measurable that the city would want to look at is how many hours are you investing, during your time with the students? What are you doing with the students? And we think just documenting that is going to show all that you do, with the program, and that would be a cool thing to highlight.
So for program highlights and achievements, we found out through our interviews with the board members that there are a couple of key areas that Hope New Hampshire focuses on. And some of those things are job placement, community service, field trip attendance, and things like higher education, enlisting in the services, and things like that. So we think those are all really great highlights and achievements that should definitely be recorded in one space, and that's something that can provide substantial value and show what is actually happening to help these kids in Manchester. So in this template, it's just another way to organize that information and record it, just track the achievements. We have a section for the date, the category, whether it's job placement, community service, events, field trips, or anything else, so that can be filled out as well. And then a description area where we can write who was the child that did community service or applied for a job or got a job or something like that. And that way it'll all be in one area or one place, and it's easy to look back on rather than looking for different documents. And you can even put the documents that are that go along with that kind of stuff in this binder, which we thought was nice for organization too.
Okay, as for the expense report, when you made this Excel, actually want to help you manage your fund more efficiently. And we already listed several categories like educational supplies, food and transportation fee, and just any spending that related to this program are all recorded on this Excel. And you can very clearly to see the budget and the spend goes every month and the remaining amount from funds. So from this Excel, I think we think it's a very powerful proof to show that you exactly spend this money on the kids and on this program, and it's a very proof to show your participation on this program as well. As for the next part of the list of relationships, we want to make it like a contact book for you to bring some convenience for you to contact with your cooperators and donors, and all their information like phone number, email address, a list on above. So we also think like while our interpersonal contact will be a very valuable source for this program, as well it will help to this future development. So yeah, that's all.
Awesome.
And testimonials. So in management, there is a methodology called Agile, which I'm working on currently. So it's based on IT projects. They're gathering feedbacks, and based on these feedbacks, they're measuring if their program is working or efficient or whatever. So this is what we call testimonials in our project. Our goal is to gather feedbacks, right, from students and their parents, also communities, so that we can measure our performance, and if we need to improve something or develop any other strategic plan based on it, we can do it, right? That's why this is also one of our valuable.
Yeah, basically, we just put a section in the binder just to, if you get written testimonials from anybody, if you ask students for written testimonials, or if you ask parents, you could just include those in the binder, and that's good. It's good evidence, or good anecdotal evidence that you could present to the city, just to show the good work that you guys do. A lot of the times you have videos, which are great, but I think something written and just including it in there would also be a strong thing to include. Just to kind of wrap everything up, we also created a rasterized logo for you guys. We talked to Mark in the last couple of days and asked him if he had one. He didn't, so we were able to dust off some of our Photoshop skills. And we created a rasterized logo, which we'll be sending you guys. So you can use that. You know, I think we're pretty proud of the deliverable we were able to come up with. We think it will be useful. We hope it will be useful.
It was a good one.
Yeah, we hope Matt will use it. At the very least, I think just documenting the attendance and documenting those mentorship hours are going to be really key in just tracking what you do and showing that and improving that you're worth the return on investment. So yeah, we're proud to work on it. I'm happy to, we had a good time on our group, and I think you guys do a great job in your organization. So we were happy to try to help you guys.
All right, see you guys.
Thank you.